You were sentenced December 18th.
I was sentenced on December the 18th.
You arrived on the island on the 5th of January.
Yeah.
Right?
December the 18th, we then spent 2 weeks in Lokop.
2 weeks in Lyokop, okay.
We spent 2 weeks in Lokop, and then we left Lokop on the 4th of January. Right after the New Year holidays were over. Then we were loaded up. Then we went to, 4th or 3rd or something like that. And then what had actually happened, we went to Port Elizabeth. And we slept overnight there in a prison called the Laloo Hell, the Red Hell. And we picked up some 60 odd prisoners from there, from the Eastern Cape. All ANC members, the vast majority ANC members. Amongst them was a chap called Andrew Masondo, who became a general afterwards, General Andrew Masondo. He was a lecturer in maths, Port Hare, and he was involved in some of this stuff. So we came, it was a 750-kilometer trip from Port Elizabeth to Robben Island. And we came to Robben Island.
Just briefly describe the conditions via which you were transported. Were you shackled, handcuffed, whatnot? How do you transport 60 people?
You see, we left local prison and we had 2 items of clothing. A khaki short pants and a khaki shirt. That's all of them. Nothing else. No handkerchief, nothing. No toothbrush, no shaving machine, nothing. That's all of them. We loaded up onto the truck and we were handcuffed. And of course we were leg irons, yeah. And of course we were at the back of a truck. So what actually happened, we were then, there's no urinal, so we had to wee in 4-gallon drums of water. Can you imagine what happened? Your hands are getting shackled, we are battered to even wee. And of course you're traveling. And there are bends, and of course the truck swerves, and every time it swerves, the drums also slide across the way, and sometimes they topple over, and of course all the urine there, and we of course are barefooted, so you can imagine the conditions under which we travel. And then that's how we reached Port Elizabeth. And then of course we stayed overnight, as I said before, and we came with a group of Eastern Cape political prisoners. Of course, at that stage the Eastern Cape was a high political activity for the ANC.
Who was with you from your Little Rivonia trial?
From Little Rivonia trial was only Mac and I. Working in Mkwai, now we were 5 accused. Now. 2 were whites. They didn't come with us. They were taken to Pretoria Central.
And the 2 whites were?
David Kitson and John Matthews. Right. They were taken to Pretoria Central, whatever the case may be. Then of course the 3 of us. 3 of us, we spent 2 weeks in Lokop. But when they took us to Robben Island, only the 2 of us went. Why? Because they kept Wilton behind. Now the reason why they kept him behind is that he was the commanding chief on the controversies, the 3rd commanding chief. And of course he had a lot of information, and they wanted to isolate him from us. And they had hoped that by isolating him and keeping him alienated from the rest of his comrades, they had hoped that he would reach a depressed state. He would become depressed And in that time, a depressed person, I mean, you might volunteer information that we might do useful to. So that's why they isolated him. So it's only Mac and I came with the from the little Rivonia Childers. There was another chap by the name of Raymond Yanda, whom we suspected to be a police informer. We don't know. But we only suspected. The area was very suspicious. So we ourselves were very careful what we spoke about, what we did, what we talked, whatever it may be. So that was the whole thing. And we landed at the docks, we landed in Cape Town. So we came to Robben Island. Must have been about 5, 6 o'clock, I can't remember now very well. And then they loaded us onto the ship. That boat was called the Dyers. Now, that was the boat that took us from Cape Town docks to Robben Island. And of course, we were in the hold. And in the hold, of course, the diesel. We just got off from a bloody truck, from a trip. That was very terrible, you know. Getting to this hold was full of diesel. You couldn't take it. But we managed. It was only 7 kilometers, an hour's trip or whatever the case may be. And of course we landed. They took us to reception. Then of course we had to furnish them with the information, our families, their names, the addresses, our residential addresses, phone numbers if we had, so on, because they had registered us, right? And of course they have to inform our families that so-and-so prisoner is now on Robben Island or whatever, that's the general rule. And of course that's what actually happened. And then they took us to the isolation block. Now the isolation block, the segregation block on Robben Island, it is a maximum security section of Robben Island, which Robben Island prison. Robben Island prison itself is a maximum security prison. So this is a maximum security section of a maximum security prison. And it was built in the shape of a U. There are 2 wings which are parallel to one another. 2 wings. That was what we call the B section and the C section. The B section, it was a U, B section, C section, and the interlinking section was A section. In the B section there was the Madiba and that crowd. In C section there were people who were brought in from the general sections, who were punished, say for 2 months, whatever. That was a punishment section. Kathy at one stage was taken to that section, punishment section, for a couple of months. Remember we talked about it, and we used to smuggle books to him, and I smuggled him Thomas Mann's Magic Mountain or something, and he imagined all sorts of things. The interlinking section was A section. Now they also, there was a section that the prisoners were there. They were not permanent in B section, but they were not punishment people from the general sections who were brought there for punishment, like intermediate, you know what I mean. We were there. So we were taken there, and after we were processed at the reception, they gave me a number, 8/65. 8 stands for, I was the 8th prisoner to be admitted to Robben Island. The 8th prisoner admitted to Robben Island prison during the year 1965. It's 8/65, that's my number. Then of course I was taken to A section and I was there for a couple of weeks. But when I was taken to A section, I was so tired, I was so tired, fed up, hungry, whatever the case may be. They just put me in the cell and I slept right through. But when I got up the next morning, and when I looked at the window, directly opposite me, was Billy Nay. I had known Billy Nay from outside, the teaser trial, you was there. He used to come to Tommy Wasson's place, Bobby Wasson's place. And he was a treason trialist himself. I know him from. I was very, very happy to see somebody whom I had known from outside already. So that was okay. Asking me a few questions. We have to be very careful how we talk because he's in his cell, I'm in my cell. We are one person in the cell. And then my cell was also facing the courtyard. And every day I could see the Rivonia trialist napping stones. I could see Kathy. I can't speak to him, I can't do anything. But one day, open the door. Who's there? Kathy's there. He must have talked to the warder, whatever the case may be, persuaded the warder. Talk very quickly and so on. Then I felt a bit happy. Here's my old friend. Here's my political mentor for so many years. There I've seen Billy there. So I felt a bit more. Because you never know what's going to happen, where you are, where you're going to live. You're in a state of uncertainty and insecurity. That's how you are. But that was it, and after a couple of weeks, of course, I was taken to B section. Why I was taken to B section, I don't know. We are only assumed that the Rivonia trialists were in B section. We were from the little Rivonia trial. So they said, man, here's the Rivonia trial, here's the Rivonia, put the whole belly up together. And that's how they. And I ended up I was in one or two cells before, and then I arranged with George Peake. He was a Cape Town City Councillor, member of the South African Coloured People's Organization. He was serving a 3-year sentence. He was serving a 3-year sentence because he tried to blow up Portmore prison. And at the time when he tried to blow it up, there was no Sabotage Act. It was only the Explosives Act. And the Explosives Act he only got 3 years. So, like this fella, one or two other people, so they got caught with Black Ventura, also got caught with explosives. They were charged under the Explosives Act. So I arranged with him that when you leave your cell, I'll occupy this cell. Said, okay, so on the 3rd of September, after about spending a couple of months in various little cells, on the 3rd of September, I went into that cell. As agreed and arranged with George Peake. So and I stayed in that cell from the 3rd of September, 1965, until the 6th of May, 1982. In one cell, 17.5 years, when I was transferred from Robben Island to Portmore prison, not Portmore, Victor Verster prison. I'm on my way out.
And from Victor Verster you went to where?
From Victor Verster I stayed there for 6 months. There were a number of people there. The Black Consciousness people came with us. Seth Cooper, Aubrey Mukwape and all those chaps. But the 3 ANC chaps were Kisla Shubani, Lakota, Terry Lakota, and myself. Terry had joined the ANC on the island. He came as part of the Black Consciousness movement, but he joined the ANC. Right. So we are the 3 ANC. We were then. We stayed there for about 6-7 months, from May until early December. Early December, we were now taken back to local prison in a small van, which was much different from the time we went to
Oh, so you were transported by a van back
to
your...
back to the local prison. And I stayed there for another 2 weeks or so, 10 days, 12 days, whatever the case may be. Patrick also was there, Lakota. And then I was released.
Good.
That's the long and short of my little trip.
When you woke up the next day in Robben Island,
Yeah.
and you saw the bars around you, what were your thoughts?
Well, I was used to bars in any case. So there was nothing. I knew that I was in prison. The day that I was sentenced, 18th of December, we were taken to the fort, changed clothing, all that. They took all our possessions, they were going to return it to our families and everything. Then they took us to local prison. Local prison, of course, bars, prison. We are used to prison. So there are no thought. The only thing at night was a different story. At night, I knew when it was dusk. When I got up in the middle of the night, didn't have the faintest idea. Is it morning? Is it afternoon? Is it night time? Is it midnight? Nothing. We had 2 pieces of clothing. I had short pants, a khaki trouser, a khaki short pants, and a khaki shirt. Nothing else. When we woke up in the morning, we had to go and brush our teeth. There's no toothpaste. There's no toothbrush. You had to go and bath. There was soap. They gave us a sliver of soap. The sliver of soap, the blue soap with white speckles. Do you remember that? That's the type of soap my mum used to wash her clothes with. Right? Sliver of soap. Then we asked for towels. Towels. There's no such thing as towels in prison. I'm wondering how the bloody hell are we going to dry ourselves? So a chap called Mahalis, a white warrior, nasty bastard. He says, no, you must dry yourself. But how are we going to dry ourselves? He says, you run around the courtyard, hot, naked, until you are dry. After 2 or 3 days, we want to wash our clothing because there's no changing. We only had 1 short pants, 1 shirt. We want to change, dirty blankets and everything. He said, yeah. I said, well, what about the changing? He said, no, you wash your clothes. There's a blanket there, you wrap yourself with the blanket. Wash your clothes. When the sun is hot, it's December, it's nice and hot now. By lunchtime, your clothing will dry. Then you can wear it. So we wash it.
Just one thing. When you got to Eastern Cape,
Yeah.
right? So here's you and Mac, basically non-Africans, and there's 60 other African prisoners coming in,
Yeah.
mainly ANC. What was the reception or
Very
reaction?
good. Very good. People knew.
They knew.
Yeah. I suppose they also got news.
Yeah.
We were sentenced 2 weeks before that. Our trial had taken place in the course of November 1964, and they had an idea. And our Eastern Cape comedy were very, very highly politicized. So they knew.
Okay.
It was okay. So we were well received.
Good.